Hey, welcome back to Orange Hat Reviews, everyone. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. So, I'm just doing a random stream. Figured, why not? It's Sunday. Not doing the Hat Crew today with Infinity Saga Sundays because it is Mother's Day. So I figured I'd let the crew spend some time with their families. But I still do need to get my watch time up, so I figured I'd do just a random stream. I might actually start doing Monday streams in the afternoon because that way it might also help, because I also do need to get my time up, as I've been saying. And the best way to do that is to just keep on getting stuff out. How you doing, Elena? Good to see you. But yeah, if you guys want to ask me anything in the chat, keep it appropriate. Go ahead and ask. It's going to be a random stream to where I could gonna give my thoughts on stuff. I mean, the Black Cleopatra thing, that's freaking hilarious how that's failing. I mean, 10 or 11% critic score and a 1 or 2% audience score for the Black Cleopatra thing. Love to see how the world is absolutely rejecting false history. Even the country of Egypt suing Netflix is cool, or is great to see. The stuff that happened over the last few weeks, not going to get into that. It happened. People said some shit. And people parted ways. Let's just say that. How was my Mother's Day? It was good. It was good. I got my mom some black licorice. She absolutely loves this stuff, so I got her some of that for Mother's Day. We spent some time together, or watched a few movies, had a few laughs. It was good. Right now, she's just enjoying her Hallmark TV right now, so figured I'd go live because I can't stand Hallmark. But anyway, how was all your guys' Mother's Days? I know some of you have your moms or your nans and other stuff. How they all doing? Neozoic, Ruben Thomas, good to see you. Yeah. Alrighty, let's see here. Question: do I prefer four-man man band, Ninja Turtles, Ghostbusters, or five-man man band, Super Sentai, Power Rangers, Teen Titans? Or what other answers? Honestly, if the story's good, I enjoy it. That's basically it, man. If the team has qualities that complement each other and the story is good, I'll enjoy it. What happens if you charge, or if you're in charge of the house as a leader? What would you do, Orange Hat? What happens if I'm in charge of the house as a leader? Well, believe me, a lot of shit would change in this house. Let's just say that. I'm not going to say much because my family's literally in there. So, yeah. Something mom called, put flowers on birth mom's grave, bought a carrot cake, farmer great grandma. Aw, nice. That's awesome. Condolences about your mom. Your birth mom, that is. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on in the personal life that I don't feel like discussing. So that is not part of the appropriateness, but yeah. There, let's kick that off so I don't end up getting feedback. Twitter is all a buzz. I'm starting to. I have a love-hate relationship with Twitter. I mean, Twitter is right now the best platform to get your content out. However, they suppress the shit out of you if you don't have 1,000 followers on Twitter. So yeah, Twitter's just great and all, but favorite movies that involve motherhood. Boy, you're really putting me on the spot there, man. I love it. Motherhood, mothers. Well, I did do a Mother Revived, so Blade was the only mother that I could think of for the mystery reviews that he ends up killing her, so there is one movie that I can think of that is a good Mama Bear kind of movie. It's called Enough with Jennifer Lopez. And I gotta say, that movie, that one was pretty good. It showed that this woman was willing to stop being a victim, stand up against her abuser husband, and protect her loved one, her child. That was a good movie. Junebug, all good to see you, man. So, yeah. And in other news, in the world of insane realism and politics and shit, we all know that Biden sucks. And we all know that he is destroying our country. So just live day by day, keep the positivity going. Try to do your best as you can to stay positive. Best advice I can give. In other news, I have, as I said on Twitter, lost a lot of interest in Star Wars due to the drama that happened over the last few weeks. Just hit me the other day. I'm no longer going to be debating Star Wars with people. I will enjoy it in the privacy of my own home. I will enjoy the movies that I enjoy, and I will read the books and enjoy the books and whatnot, but I will not discuss them any further on my channel unless I do another mystery review next May, where Star Wars is indeed one of them. Humility. Oh, yes. Prayers for Dolph Lundgren indeed, because I do hear that he has been battling cancer and he's getting treatment for it. Alex versus Evil, good to see you. Dolph Lundgren, man. Speaking of great, I love Dolph Lundgren as an actor. Honestly, I think he is a great actor. The movie I Come in Peace, or also known as Dark Angel, is a great one. The Universal Soldier trilogy, as I call it, the ones with Dolph Lundgren in them. There's 3 Universal Soldier movies with Dolph Lundgren. The first, Regeneration and Day of Reckoning. Regeneration kind of was a good sequel. Day of Reckoning, while I enjoy it, it's yikes, you know. Kidney cancer, a very treatable cancer with the proper care. Well, then I hope that Dolph Lundgren gets the proper care. I hope he gets or opinions on 1978 film, Lord of the Rings film. I've never seen the 78 Lord of the Rings. I have seen the animated Hobbit film. I recently watched it a few weeks ago. Rewatched it because I hadn't seen it in years. And honestly, I think that movie was decent for what it was. However, there was a lot of key differences from the work that Tolkien wrote for the Hobbit film. Let's see here. What's my favorite Dolph Lundgren film? Dolph Lundgren is so insane in movies. I mean, I absolutely love how he can play great villains, but also good heroes. I like him in The Expendables. The Expendables movies that he's in. I mean, him playing Gunner is just freaking hilarious. But yeah. What else is going on in entertainment news? Alec Baldwin thing pissed me off because he got away with killing a person, so there's that. That was weeks ago. Oh, he recently put out that Warner Brothers, if they're smart, they'll finish the Fantastic Beasts movies. Even if they have to just cut it short by 1 and do a 4th movie, they need to finish it out. Because spiting or doing it or cutting it short just to spite J.K. Rowling for her own personal views, or her own public views for that matter, I think it's stupid. them doing a woke version of Harry Potter series is stupid. I think that they need to just finish out the Fantastic Beasts, or set the fourth movie in 1945. Credence is long dead. He can die in between the movies, so you don't have to bring the criminal Ezra Miller in it. Have it end up with Grindelwald losing the Elder Wand to Dumbledore, and Newt and Tina having their wedding, or a couple of kids for that matter, who knows. Demon Slayer, good to so yeah, I guess time for me to repent. Repent what exactly? I mean, I have no idea who the hell you are, dude. But thanks for dropping by, I guess. Hey, Danny Martin, good to see you. Pretty well. Dolph Lundgren is an actual genius. Oh, yeah. In Expendables 2, he actually, being a chemical engineer and a Fulbright scholar, all that stuff is actually true about Dolph Lundgren. That dude is smarter than Bill Nye the Science Guy. So, yeah. He makes Bill Nye the Science Guy look like just a freaking activist, which is exactly what he is. But, yeah. I love that scene. It's like, what you doing, Gunner? Making a bomb. You mind? Actually, talk about getting typecast. Yeah, exactly, right? By the way, Orange Hat, did you get the chance to watch that Yellow Spider guys recasting all race swapped videos? No, I have not. So, and more of a real scientist. Yeah, exactly. I have not. So, no, I haven't. I'm sorry. I don't even know who that Yellow Spider guy is, to be completely honest. I tend to stay away from bigger channels, except for truly humble ones. Mark with a C, Lord Callus, Drunk 3PO, Odin's movie blog, or OMB reviews. If they're humble, I'll follow them. If they're not, fuck them. I don't care. Look at this awesome dude. Sup, Professor? Yeah, how you doing? Price is Right. And yes, stay awesome and stay humble. Exactly. And thank you for stopping in, even if it's quick. As a YouTube channel, not one of those big channels. Oh, good to hear. I might check it out then. Because as much as I respect some of the bigger channels, and they're all allowed to have their opinions. However, I've seen good channels become quite egotistical of late and say some stuff or agree with some stuff that is just blatantly wrong to say, you know? You can have a great channel, humble, nice person. Once they get in with the big old crowd, they lose their humility, they let it go to their head, and they start thinking, oh, I'm such a big name, and the hell with all the little channels now. What kind of fucking shit is that? I have often said, folks, your foundation, the foundation you build your channel upon, the followers you have, those are the ones that are your foundation. Nizark, Junebug, and all are the ones that have been with me for so long. You guys are my main freaking foundation. I'll always be thankful to you. Have you seen Hypnotic with Ben Affleck, directed by Robert Rodriguez? Yeah, not kind of like Rodriguez doing Nolan. It's a mix between Inception and Memento. I have not. I'll have to look at it in time. There's a line in Star Wars that I feel a lot of YouTube channels should follow. Your overconfidence will be your downfall. Which one was that from exactly? CJ, good to see you. But the accuracy of the novels and movies are not good. Context, CJ. The casting was on point, but they failed on the action. Again, CJH, provide some context, please. I must have missed an earlier. Greetings, I'm currently playing Hogwarts Legacy. Oh, okay, Hogwarts Legacy, yeah. So, Harry Potter stuff. Ah, yeah. The video game Revenge of the Sith, yep. If they extend the story and a show like they did Game of Thrones, they can cover all of the missed my context about. Yeah, sorry. I just found it. Sorry about that, CJ. But yeah. Stay small and never sell out. Well, even Gary Banjo's sandwich. Even if I do get a million, I have said this several times. Even if I get 1 million subscribers, I am always going to focus on the smaller channels because the bigger channels, they let their egos run wild. Not all of them. I will be fair. Not all of them. You got great ones like Drunk 3PO. He's stayed humble. You got Mark with a C. He's stayed humble. You got who's another good one? Can't think of any off the top of my head right now. But I'm not going to call out any of the other ones that I don't get along with. Them, I wish them happiness. I wish them good fortune and whatnot. And yeah, they can get all the big names and get their videos on the Daily Wire and all sorts of shit like that. They still made some poor decisions, in my opinion. And also, I'm sorry, but the way I was raised, if you do something that is outside of my liking, and I have associated with you in the past, I'm sorry, but that is where I part ways. My point is the show can be really great if they follow the books exactly. The books missed a lot. Yeah, here's the thing, CJH. They're not going to do that. One, they're most likely going to race swap the Weasley family because we all know about how Hollywood hates redheads. We all know how Hollywood hates redheads. They're most likely going to make the fucking Weasley family black. They're probably going to make Harry Potter trans. They're probably going to make Hermione Granger a freaking lesbian. I don't know, nor do I care. I'm not going to watch the new series. I have no fucking interest in the new Harry Potter series. Honestly, I think the Daily Wire has kind of lost it. Fucking A, Junebug, you are absolutely right on that. They have. Because the Daily Wire is full of freaking egomaniacs. I mean, yes, they have great political commentary, but when it comes to cultural commentary, they're fucking retards. What's her name? The black chick, Candace Owens. Couldn't remember her name. Honestly, I think she's a fucking nutcase when it comes to how she has to stand with the Daily Wire, and she's egotistical. But yeah, ranking Star Wars, or from least favorite to favorite of the original George Lucas Star Wars saga, Phantom Menace to the Return of the Jedi. Least favorite is Attack of the Clones. Then, I hate doing this because honestly, Miyazaki, fuck it, all of them are tied for first place in my opinion. I like the prequels. I like the original trilogy. I'm always gonna love Star Wars. Orange hat makes you part ginger. Yeah, exactly, man. And I'm also Scottish and Irish. So I got you look at, if I could zoom into my beard, not that I would want to. That's kind of inappropriate. But you'd actually see some red in my beard. I mean, the reason why this side isn't translating very well on camera is because my mustache is actually red quite a bit. Can't believe they're turning the movie White Men Can't Jump into a series. I can't believe that. That's stupid. Voldemort was never even pronounced right in the movies. Voldemort. Well, how do you pronounce it, dude? Same here. I love all 6 Star Wars films, even Attack of the Clones. It's not perfect. Thing is, a lot of people like to fucking rag on Attack of the Clones. So I'm gonna actually give my take here, folks. Attack of the Clones, the prequels. A lot of people like to say it was bad fucking writing, bad dialogue, cringe this, cringe that. Maybe if you understood what this fucking story was all about, then maybe you'd actually find you have no freaking argument. You actually have none whatsoever. George Lucas wanted a story that was during the golden heyday and twilight of the Republic. Different times, people spoke differently. You had different inflections. You had different ways of speaking. Yes, I don't like the sand. It's rough, coarse, and irritating, gets everywhere, yada, yada. Did you ever watch the movies from a psychological standpoint? Anakin Skywalker never really grew up. He never really grew out of his attachments. His impetuousness and his openness that would be my aunt. There we go. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, that was just my aunt. Sorry about that. On my way, here's Yellowstone. I will definitely check it out. Neozoic, thank you very much. I can't exactly highlight it. Somebody or CJH, if you can, please highlight or take that link from Neozoic and DM me on Twitter, please. But getting back to the prequels, they all had their purpose. Everybody hates Jar Jar Binks. Well, guess what? I don't. I actually like Jar Jar Binks. Jar Jar Binks actually is a character I can relate to. He has a lot of good intentions and is often misjudged and treated poorly. That's kind of my fucking life all the time. Greatest intentions, treated like shit. But also, I understood his original purpose. Believe it or not, Ahmed Best actually did one time on Twitter, years ago, admit that Darth Jar Jar was actually going to be a thing. Unfortunately, the plan had to change because studios didn't think that his story or that kind of story arc would flow well with the audience. So he became a comedic element. Plus should do that just to diss Emma Watson because her and Emma don't see eye to eye anymore. I'm worried that Hermione Granger will be a race swap just because J.K. Rowling was pushing for that a few years ago. I think it follows her vision should keep the Weasleys will be ginger. Well, who knows? Honestly, I think that Emma Watson should be a little bit more thankful to J.K. Rowling, because if it wasn't for J.K. Rowling, Emma Watson would not be what she is today. The new film, J-Lo is action-packed and snow fun. I'll have to look at it. That's fantastic. How you doing? Also, according to George Lucas, Jar Jar Binks was inspired by Charlie Chaplin. And yeah, he was wacky. He was insane. He was innocent. And that's something that a lot of people don't realize about Jar Jar Binks is He was a freaking innocent kind of character. And that is why he was always so scared. That was why he was always so naive. He's an innocent character. Unfortunately, Dave Filoni, who absolutely had no idea how to handle characters like that, freaking screwed them up. I do kind of hope the new kid actors do a good job, because the amount of harassment they'll get from both the crazies and the purists. Honestly, good luck to whatever actors get the job for the new Harry Potter thing. I think that Warner Brothers should finish off Fantastic Beasts with a fourth and final film set in 1945. Give Tina and Newt their happy ending. Get Albus the frickin' Elder Wand, and then there you go. You don't even need Ezra Miller in it, because Credence was already dying in Secrets of Dumbledore. So yeah, they don't need it. Yeah. Jar Jar was inspired. Yeah, I know that Jar Jar was inspired. Yeah, I know what you meant, Junebug. Because I actually read Star Chart as Jar Jar. But yeah, Jar Jar's character was always meant to be the embodiment of Plagueis after Plagueis died. He was actually meant to jump into Jar Jar Binks. However, that never happened. As for Voldemort, J.K. Rowling said it's pronounced Voldemort. So the whole French thing, Voldemort. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Well, Voldemort sounds interesting. Mort as in death. But yeah. I do like the Harry Potter universe. But I think that even in the imperfections of the Fantastic Beasts films, I still enjoy them. I mean, the ending scene from the Protega Diabolica scene, where Nicholas Flamel and the others use the crypt as a prison for the spell gone awry, Protega Diabolica, that scene always actually gets me welling up a little bit. Perfect music, perfect acting, perfect writing. It just works, you know? You understand the seriousness of the situation, that these things are extremely devastating. However, they were stopped. Jake Lloyd. Yeah, crazy, all the attention and hate he got took him out of acting. That's the thing. The people who did go after Jake Lloyd, honestly, they should be ashamed of themselves. He was a fucking 9-year-old kid. He did not deserve that kind of hatred at all. The hatred he got was completely uncalled for. So you are absolutely right there, Daniel Martin. Opinions of Song of Ice and Fire, Throne series, and George R. Martin himself. I've not read his books. I hear his books are quite good, but I hear that the fat fuck himself is a piece of shit. I mean, the dude loves to take shots at Tolkien, the greatest author of the 20th century. I believe that he had, or the only reason why he came up with the Song of Ice and Fire and the Game of Thrones books was because of J.R.R. Tolkien. He's just pissed off that he didn't get publications that rivaled the Bible. And yes, folks, J.R.R. Tolkien's publications rivaled that of the Bible at the time. The Hobbit was second only to the Bible. Don't believe me? Look it up. Didn't even finish his books. He's trying to finish them. I guess he's having a hard time with all that cholesterol and calcified buildup in his heart and arteries and shit. Should have originally just continued 2003 Clone Wars, honestly. Honestly, yes, but I do hear that Genndy Tartakovsky and George Lucas disagreed with a lot of the things on the Clone Wars, especially General Grievous. General Grievous was supposed to be the mustache twirling coward that apparently Dave Filoni created. But honestly, I like the Grievous from the 2003 Clone Wars. Also, if you read the books, the novels are the ones that matter most, folks. If you read the novel, Episode 3, guess what you'll learn? You will learn that Obi-Wan Kenobi and General Grievous never met before that day on the Invisible Hand. Unfortunately, dumbass Filoni didn't think that was true. But that's because I don't think that David Filoni could really even read. I mean, he can write and he can talk, sure, but I don't even think he can read what he writes. George R.R. Martin is a jerk, not just because he bashes Tolkien, but also he trashes fans and telling them to finish his books. Exactly. I mean, he created them, he started it. Dude, fucking finish your job. Chamber of Secrets, Harry Potter, and the Philosopher's Stone were the best ones because at least they tried to be as close to the books as possible. Well, yeah, that, and also the third movie everybody praises. I honestly think the third movie was not as good because they changed the fucking grounds to Hogwarts. Original Tom Riddle was perfect cast, though. Shame they didn't keep him around. That's because he got older. 10 years later, the dude's already an actor, or dude is a much more aged actor. He can't really play that role. Check out Bars Room, Edgar Rice Burroughs. I've never heard of him, man. Or Barsoom. Do you think we'll see a Star Wars movie anytime soon? Honestly, Daniel Martin, they're coming up with bastardized versions of Heir to the Empire. They're coming up with bastardized versions of the New Jedi Order. I am always going to be an EU Star Wars fan. Do I find some of the Disney stuff, or do I find some entertainment value in Disney's attempts at Star Wars? Yes. I will fully fucking admit that. Do I think that Disney Star Wars sucks? Yes. I will fully admit that too. It's a contradictory statement, isn't it? Or so it somewhat sounds like it, doesn't it? But when I say I find some entertainment value in Disney's attempts at Star Wars, that means very few things. Is there some entertainment value in The Bad Batch, which is a ripoff of the Null Arcs, Cal Scarata's boys, Ordo, Comarch, frickin' Muriel, Jang, and I do believe there is another one. Muriel, Comarch, Jang, Ordo. There's two more. Crap. I forgot the damn names. Or the other two's names. But yes, those guys were the original Bad Batch. They also know as Josh Carter. I have no idea what that means. The remade series is unfortunate events, and it was so much better than the movie because it followed the books to the T. I have no idea what that is. Half-Blood Prince. If they make a good adaptation of Half-Blood Prince, hey man, if you're happy with it, awesome. How do you feel about the criticisms of EU has its own retcons? Example, Labyrinth of Evil, how it contradicted with Genndy Tartakovsky's Clone Wars. Yeah, there was some. I'm going to have to reread Labyrinth of Evil. I haven't read it in a good spell. But, yes, the EU has its own retcons, sure. However, when it comes to consistency, it's about 90% consistent. The entirety of the EU has a 90% consistency rate compared to Disney, which has a less than 5% consistency rate with its own canon, or its own canon. And that's your opinion, man. I honestly thought Half-Blood Prince was a decent book, and not a half bad movie. John Carter was a series in 1912 to 64 that inspired Star Wars and made crappy movie about. Yeah, I have no idea, or I haven't seen the John Carter or read the books. Junebug. The retcons like episode 2, Attack of the Clones, that retconned the story of Boba Fett, where his name originally in the original canon, before episode 2 came out, his original name was Jaster Muriel. He then later took the name Boba Fett. Well, then they created Jango Fett, and Boba is a clone. And then they had to have a small little retcon. They included, or they did a little finagling and actually managed in a good way to say that he took the name Jaster Muriel while on Concord Dawn because that was where his father was from originally. So he didn't want any problems because, well, the Fetts were kind of really known on Concord Dawn. But yeah. I'm still trying to get a hold of people I graduated with from high school because this year is our 20th frickin' class reunion. And nobody seems to be getting back to me on that. They got rid of the EU, but cherry-pick a lot of the elements of it, like Han and Leia's kids being Force-sensitive, but just changed the names. Exactly, Daniel Martin. And what this will actually piss off a lot of people, but there are 2 scenes in Rise of Palpatine that I actually got a good joy out of. That was seeing Billy D. Williams as Lando again. Not Pando Lando, he actually decried that, but Lando Calrissian. Lando Calrissian's character was great in Rise of Palpatine because Billy D. Williams was a great actor. He made his role work again. And also, I just really found a lot of nostalgia from that moment. Now, do I think that Rise of Skywalker is a good movie by any sense? No. The movie itself sucks. They got a lot wrong. But the 2 things that they did get right, Chewbacca's reaction to Leia passing, because Leia was a dear, loved, and cherished member of Chewbacca's family, and Lando Calrissian. They got that right. But other than that, the movie was not good. They did stuff that was inexplainable in the Force. Transporting items from one person to another doesn't work in the Force. There was no precedence for that. Hey, Cult Classic Cage, good to see you. Just talking, just doing a random stream. So if there's a pansexual in there or pot sexual, honestly, here's something that the EU did before Disney started doing all that, this and that sexualized shit. Most of the clones in the Clone Wars were bisexual. Most of them were bisexual. That's something that a lot of people don't or didn't know. There were non-binary species because they were changelings. Claudites are non-binary. They could be either male or female. Yes. But they can change their shape into male or female shapes. And then there are other changeling species that are completely non-binary. They're absolutely asexual kind of reproduction. There were openly gay Mandalorians that Karen Traviss created when creating the Legacy of the Force series. So yeah, Disney likes to say, oh, we got our gay characters, we got our this and that characters. Guess what? They were already done before Disney got their shit done like that. I think that a lot of this stuff is just stupid now because that's all they're focusing on. The clones were played by another actor. I forgot his name. In Attack of the Clones, you can see him on Camino. Yeah, it's actually the guy that played Captain Typho played a younger Jango Fett. It looked exactly like the guy that played Captain Typho. But yeah, Colt, classic Colt. Alex versus Evil. But he meant Cage. So also, folks, be sure to smash that like button. It does help the channel get noticed more and more. Also, if you could share the stream out, that'll help too. But yeah. And so, let's see here. 40 minutes, not bad. Let's go another. All right, let's keep going. Been listening to a lot more older music and whatnot nowadays. Also, I've been listening to some newer music. Song that's actually done pretty well so far is Hold My Hand from Lady Gaga. Not gonna lie, that's a great song. I'm okay with that stuff as long as you don't bring attention to it. Honestly, if it's part of the plot, fine, it's part of the plot. Bohemian Rhapsody, it was part of the plot. I had no problem with it. But Star Wars, you don't need to know, or sure, mention it, but it's not a part of the plot. So yeah, when the Medrit Vassar farm was a thing in Star Wars, which was Goran Bevin, or the Bevin, yeah, Goran Bevin and Medrit Vassar, or Medrit, yeah, their farm, their freaking, or their husband and husband. Like the 16 or 600 articles of how important sexualities are in a story. Honestly, I blame the news. There's two genders, folks. You don't like that? Feel free to hit the dislike button. See if I care. But yeah, there's just a lot of, or there's only two genders. There's male, female, and that's it. What are my favorite bands? Queen. Opinions on Death Troopers. Never read it. Kindergarten Cop said it best. Yep. Boys have penises, girls have a vagina. My favorite bands, I liked Savage Garden back in the day. Queen was the very first band that I focused on, aside from the Monkees. I also like the Monkees. Most of the time, I listen to music that's not mainstream, like Miracle of Sound, who did Valhalla Calling. Honestly, that is a great song. It's the song that's on my phone's ringtone. I also like hearing covers of people doing, or covers that people do of famous songs. Like, I like listening to people doing different, or covers of, or Peter Hollins is one of my favorite cover singers and whatnot. That hurt, but you know what? They did the two older ladies kissing in the Thingamajive, Rise of Skywalker. Actually, that old woman was kissing a woman that was like 20 fucking years her junior. And repeated again in Wakanda Forever, a blink and you'll miss it moment isn't representation, made no sense. You're right. Yeah, blink and miss moments, some with the Lightyear movie. Didn't watch the Lightyear movie, nor will I. I don't give Disney money for its newer stuff. Now, does that mean that I buy older Disney movies? Yes. I have bought older Disney movies. Yes. Disney gets my money. But as something that I explained on my Twitter profile, life is full of trade-offs. Do I wish that Disney would die because of its new age crap that nobody likes? Yes. But does that mean that I am going to deprive myself or my family of being able to watch Disney Plus and enjoy the older stuff? No. I pay $10.99 a month for Disney Plus. I have no problem with that. It is a trade-off. It is an unfortunate trade-off, but it is a trade-off. And I think that I can live with that. Yes, you guys hear me call out Disney all the fucking time. I have a problem with new Disney, not with the old Disney. The original Lion King, the original Under the Little Mermaid stuff, all that stuff is great. The new stuff, not. The new stuff, I believe, is as evil as Satan. Because honestly, I believe that Disney is full of a bunch of satanic worshippers. And I do miss the days where people could be held to account by more personal means. If you're not old enough to understand what that means, ask somebody who's older. Because before computer screens, before the internet, if somebody said something absolutely stupid in front of somebody else and they were being completely out of line and stupid, they were held to a more personal account. Meaning, well, smack, let's just say that. Linda Hamilton comes to Germany in August. Should I go for it again? Hey man, if you want to, go ahead. Michael Eisner did not want Bob Iger replacing him, but Michael Eisner was voted out of the company by the very man that gave him the job as chairman. Who knows? Like cover of Little Mermaid and such, very creepy. No, our covers, I mean, are musical covers, like musical representations of original songs. I feel like the original Disney was kind of creepy with all their hidden sexual imagery. That was by dint of their art department. That was not Disney's intentions, I do not think. I do follow a lot of people now have been falling for fake AI imagery or claiming it to be real, but people will believe anything. I don't understand the whole hatred against AI creating art. What is wrong with an AI creating art? Can somebody explain how that is evil? Because honestly, I do not fucking get it. Favorite lightsaber duels from any media, movies, games, comics, novels, etc. My favorite lightsaber duel is Battle of the Heroes, Duel of the Fates, as well as Skywalker versus Vader, both times in Empire and Return of the Jedi. Plus, in the books, they are far more superior, especially the prequels. It's because it steals and plagiarizes from real artists to learn. Okay, it studies real artists and learns from their styles. Does it plagiarize it stroke for stroke? No, not at all. Not that I have yet to see an AI create something that was done by an original master. I mean, not unless you want it to be done by or want it to do so. A lot of people don't realize this, but there are some very beautiful paintings out there that if I told you who they were from, you'd probably cancel me outright. Sometimes it does. Well, if that does, well, then guess what? It's not like the AI can get money for it. I have an issue with AI taking away human jobs, but as far as an AI creating, I think that's kind of cool. Taking away human jobs, yes, that is where I draw the line. However, having a creative bone in its body, I don't find a problem with it. I've seen a lot of comic book AI art that stole from major artists. Dude, point it out if you can on Twitter. Message me some of it if you can. I'll be glad to look it over. I know people are leery of AI that can mimic any person's voice. I could see potential lawsuits for it or being used for devious purposes. Oh, definitely. Or I'm trying to think it's because the artists worry that AI would replace them because upcoming artists to give up their potential creativity. What's to stop them from doing that? The only thing stopping them would be themselves. It's cool for sure as long as you use it to make it your own original content. Use AI as a conceptual art. Exactly. I tell you this, I'll tell you this, if I showed some paintings to somebody and yeah, I could say it's a very beautiful and then tell you it's by, you'd want to hurt me because it's by one of the most evil. You're talking about the Adolf Hitler paintings, aren't you, Junebug? Yes, folks. That was actually what I was also talking about. Adolf Hitler was a very gifted artist, paint-wise. He painted he painted imagery. He did paintings. Now, if you look at them, you'll honestly think those are pretty good paintings from an objective standpoint. Now, if you let your bias in, Hitler was a very evil piece of shit, which he was, you'd probably say, oh my God, those were tainted by evil. However, from an objective standpoint, he did good paintings. That's his only good quality, really. If you don't like that as a being said, sorry. And every artist that human steals from somewhere. Here's the thing, folks. Let me break it down to you in brass text. The first paintings, the first artistic expressions were done by cave people, Egyptians. Everything that has stemmed since then, or from all those original historical or artistic expressions, have been mimicked, built upon, evolved from. It's all human nature to evolve artistic expression. The question of all questions, if you went back in time, would you kill Hitler or guide him to become a painter? I would do neither. To kill Hitler would damage the future. To change his course would damage the future. In these days and times, you definitely have to separate the art from the artist. Add that to cancel culture, shake my head. Yeah. Me, honestly, you got to do what you got to do. Compromising is one thing. Unfortunate trade-offs are another. Me, I'm going to be seeing the Fast 10 film. I'm going with my stepbrother and mother when it comes out. They like the Fast franchise. I like it up to a point, but I will watch it in theaters. Even though it has a person that I absolutely detest, Brie Larson, in it, I'll still watch the movie. Because honestly, I think that, I have that curiosity. But the whole AI art thing won't stop me from creating art. Exactly, Neozoic. Me, I sketch every now and then. Shoot, I have Dragon Ball Z art that I did of Gohan Super Saiyan 2, adult Gohan Super Saiyan 2, Vegeta, Goku. I have all sorts of art from way back then. I'd have to bust that stuff out sometime to show you guys. I use AI art because I'm too poor to pay artists and don't know anyone, to be honest. Honestly, dude, I'm too poor to frickin' do that stuff too. There was a guy that used to do the thumbnails from a Versus series. I'm not going to mention his name, but he started saying, well, I'm going to have to start charging you $10. It's like, I can't fucking afford that, so I'm giving up fucking Versus. That's why I stopped doing the Versus streams. They were my highest viewing streams. I stopped them because, well, I had no way of doing the Versus streams any further without good thumbnails. Plus, trying to scrounge up people to do the streams was hard enough as it was. Then that asshole fucking comes out and says, or starts bad-mouthing me, and it's like, dude, don't go there, because I will not hold back if you do. You went there, so I freaking made it very plain as day. This asshole starts saying that he wants me to start paying him when he doesn't freaking charge anybody else for it. So fuck him. Favorite Carpenter movie? Favorite Ninja Turtle? My favorite Ninja Turtle is always going to be Donatello. My favorite John Carpenter movie? Big Trouble in Little China. Try to reach out to some people if I can find an artist for to do the versus streams. Thing is, Junebug, I have to have the gumption to get back into it. Honestly, I love doing the versus streams, but then I got to create or got to think of a bunch of people or think of different characters fight each other. Then I got to get people who want to do them together. It's a hassle. And sometimes there was a lot of arguments on the streams that I wish, or that makes me wish I never put the people in the same stream together. But I might do them someday. Again, I might bring them back. Because I got people that I actually do trust now, that I would actually love to hear from. The Hack Crew and the Barroom Podcast. Some of the greater people like Cult Classic Cage, I'd have her on my channel doing a versus stream in a heartbeat. Me and her could talk DBZ versus another universe and yada yada. Because she and I both like Dragon Ball Z with Vegeta and whatnot. And I believe Vegeta actually came up in a versus stream, if I remember correctly. No, it was the Goku versus Superman. I don't think Vegeta ever came out with one yet. Donatello for me too. Yeah, Donatello for me because, well, he was the youngest and I was the youngest. Michelangelo, well, Donatello was the last of the names and I was the youngest of 4 boys at one time. I'm youngest of 3, but the 4th was a step sibling. And I was still the youngest at the time, so that's why. But also, he uses the bow staff, and I'm also pretty efficient with a bow, so. But yeah, also been playing a game called Criminal Case on that used to be on Facebook. Pretty fun game. I don't pay to play it like I used to do other games, but yeah. I'm excited for the potential of Hogwarts Legacy sequels. They could potentially do the timeline all the way up to the Fantastic Beasts, and if they do, that's awesome. They'd have to take from the Pottermore arcs because Ilvermorny already has an origin story, it seems. If Warner Brothers or whoever's doing the Hogwarts Legacy games were to pay attention to people like Harry Potter Folklore and Harry Potter Theory channels, they'd actually learn quite a lot. I've unfollowed a lot of people online because I'm tired of seeing politics, although now that I think of it, I could just mute people or don't like political opinion, I won't bring it up. Exactly, man. Exactly. The 2003 series of Ninja Turtles, I didn't get into it. I'm always going to be a 90s or an 80s and 90s Ninja Turtles. Now, the Michael Bay Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I have a small little entertainment factor out of those. Mainly because the first one had a sequence filmed in my hometown. However, I'm pissed off at the Michael Bay movies because they didn't acknowledge that they filmed in the town. Hold on one moment. Uh, 90s Spider-Man. I recently watched all of that all the way through. Great series. I didn't watch it, or didn't manage to catch all of it until Disney Plus, really. That whole universe should have kept going. Yep. I'm going to take a look at the 97 X-Men series to watch it all the way through. I wonder if Disney finally fixed the order of the episodes. Despite Spider-Man not being able to punch anybody. Yeah, there was that. However, he could kick people. One of my favorite video games that included Spider-Man was Maximum Carnage. That was just Fox, though. They made that no punching rule. Yeah. Or you could do Godzilla versus Gamera. Yeah, I could. I'd have to read up on Gamera. Nowadays, I find myself more emotional, even though I could be completely emotionless at times. Got those Native American? No, I do not. Vanya, I haven't been looking out for them because, honestly, there's been a lot of shit going on. Sorry about the Native American coins, but I kinda want to see Godzilla versus 90s Zilla in live action. Final Wars? He out and out just straight up murders Zilla. So yeah, there is that. Actually, Gamma would win. Nope, Godzilla would win. He is pretty much an indestructible force. Ambassadorial Wing. I remember Turtle Mania, the 80s and 90s. Saw the first movies, first two, stopped after that. Really enjoyed the animated series. Never realized that Uncle Phil was the voice of Shredder. Something that I enjoyed about the Ninja Turtles is that they even have their own musical album coming out of our shells. Look it up on YouTube, folks. It's there. Great freaking songs, man. Happened once. 19 Godzilla gets smacked aside. The Japanese hated him. Exactly. They bought Epi. Good to see you, man. They bought the rights to Zilla only to fucking murder him. How do you feel about people's counter argument of Ray being a Mary Sue? What about Starkiller from Force Unleashed? She overpowered. Ray is a Mary Sue because she's able to do all that shit without any real training. She touches Kylo Ren, suddenly she's a fucking super god. Where it's explained in the novels of Force Unleashed, he had a very deep tie, a very primal tie to the Force. Also, for those who are saying that Starkiller from Force Unleashed grabbed a Star Destroyer and pulled it down. Wrong. The Star Destroyer was already falling. He simply guided it with the Force. He was able to nudge it with the Force. Now, yes, Starkiller is indeed very strong in the Force. He held together a ship crashing through a planetary shield and guided it all the way in. Dude is a fucking badass. But he's not a Gary Stu. He trained vigorously to do what he was able to do. But he was also extremely powerful in the Force. He had a lot of strength in the Force. The potential is there, yes. But you also have to have the training. Training is needed. They tried to retcon it with the dark side, but even the dark side users need training. Yes, Darth Bane had deadly sight, used it instinctively. However, he couldn't replicate it until he learned more about it. He killed his father with deadly sight. Freddy's Nightmare is on YouTube. Did you watch them? I have no idea what Freddy's Nightmare is. To be completely honest, Starkiller was trained by Vader at the very least. Yes. And even then, Vader held back. People need to read novels. People need to feel the books in their hands, turn the pages, and whatnot. Plus, video games is a different media compared to the movies and novels. Exactly. Anakin Skywalker could use Force Lightning in the Revenge of the Sith video game. He never, ever used it at all before he got into the suit. And he never used it afterward either, except for that facsimile. But yeah, there are certain limitations to the Force. Now, a lot of people love to say, well, Valkorion was God tier, and he was a Garrus Due and whatnot. Valkorion, they explained why he was so powerful in the Force. Because he did a ritual that not only sucked the life out of an entire planet and the people on it and the Sith Lords on it, he absorbed the Force from the planet and those Sith Lords, augmenting his power to such a degree that it empowered him that much to where he could literally survive physical death. Not being one with the Force, but his spirit was very much alive. Nightmare on Elm Street series with Robert Englund. Did not know that. There was one. Somebody needs to say, forget what Disney says and make more Force Unleashed 3 into a fan film. Honestly, Junebug, I'd say do it. I mean, wonderful thing about my mind, I can read a book and I can watch it in my head as a film. Yeah. When I'm reading episode 1, the Phantom Menace, I'm watching it in my head using the visual data that I absorbed from watching the movies. Same with episode 2 and 3. Do you think Lucas had control of the IP? He could make a decent movie out of the KOTOR games? Possibly. And a lot of people love to say, well, they want their KOTOR 3. They want our KOTOR 3. What they don't realize is KOTOR 3 exists. It's called Star Wars The Old Republic Jedi Knight Story Mode. There you go. The Jedi Knight Story Mode is KOTOR 3. People don't want people don't want to accept that because, well, no, we meant Revan and whatnot. There's a book called Revan. Read it. Yes, there are some changes between the game and the novel, but the overall story arc works. Old Republic was fun until it gave Australia the middle finger. Epi, can you please explain that? Do I exercise daily? No, I do not. Yeah, I got a gut. But do I get up, walk around and stuff? Well, I guess you can call that exercise, sure. I would do it, but I would more be behind the scenes of the major Star Wars channels. Or if there's a Star Wars channel that wants to do it, help out behind the scenes, yeah. Well, we're over an hour already, and I'm still maintaining a pretty good watchers. Anybody else have any interesting questions? But also make sure you all tune in at 8 o'clock next Sunday, because that's when we're going to be bringing back Infinity Saga Sundays. We're going to be talking the first Avengers film. And I already got the first 3 thumbnails for Iron Man 3, Thor, The Dark World, and Captain America, The Winter Soldier. So if you want to reach out to some... No, dude. Junebug, sorry, man. I stopped doing Star Wars stuff. I stopped doing Star Wars content and I stopped talking with the Star Wars channels. The major Star Wars channel that I talked with a lot was OG Star Wars, and me and her had a parting of ways. Me and her, or she, kind of did some stuff that we talked it over, came to an understanding, but she didn't answer a very important question. She kept on diverting from it. So while I understand her points and I respect her to a degree, me and her parted ways, and I stopped giving a shit about Star Wars. I will always love Star Wars. I will always care about Star Wars. However, I will care about it in my own personal, private time. We could take a cult TV show and talk episode by episode. What do you think? Me and Ambassador are planning on doing that with Angel and Buffy, I believe. Honestly, I like shows like The Mentalist, Blue Bloods, and whatnot. It's just, I'd love to talk that shit. Smallville. I was actually planning on doing a Smallville watch thing and discussing episode by episode. There's just one problem. Fucking Michael Rosenbaum and Tom Welling beat me to it. I was actually getting it planned and set up to do an episode by episode review of each of the episodes. But then Michael Rosenbaum and Tom Welling started Talkville, and I got hooked on it immediately because I'd love to hear what they thought of each episode, where they watch it and discuss it and whatnot. And hey, it's great. Michael Rosenbaum has his own YouTube channel, Inside of You, plus the Talkville channel. Did I know that there was a Ratchet and Clank movie? No, I did not, Christian, and good to see you. Opinions on fan films in general. Would you say that fan films are better than Hollywood films? Some can be, yes. Believe it or not, I actually thought Star Wars Theory's Vader film was pretty good. Then there's also the Darth Maul film. That was pretty good. Well, you could go back to the 50s TV shows of Superman. Nobody's doing it episode by episode of that. I would have to have access to that stuff. I have access to it. I have Vudu, the digital library Vudu, VUDU. And I bought Smallville, The Mentalist, the animated series for Batman, the animated series for Superman. And I plan on getting other series to later on as well. Buffy and Angel, in fact. I have access to them through Hulu, which, yes, I am aware is owned by Disney. But I watched Prey, which you all know I developed or defended that vigorously. Ratchet and Clank movie came out in 2016 and had the cast of the games as well as Paul Giamatti, John Goodman, Sly, Bella Thorne, Rosario Dawson. Cool. I have never heard of Ratchet and Clank, so I'm sorry, Christian. I don't know about it. But yeah. I'm thinking about watching Demon Slayer again. I'd have to watch the older episodes again to get back up to date and then watch the newer ones that they came out with. So I still have Netflix for that, plus for Cobra Kai. Sylvester Stallone has some good-looking daughters. Sylvester Stallone has fucking model daughters. I mean, his daughters are pretty much model material, but they're all too young for me. So, yeah, the answer is no on those. I'm not touching them, or yes, they're attractive, but they're also too young for me. I also already have a girlfriend, so yeah, it ain't working. Opinions on Avatar: The Last Airbender. We talking live action, or are we talking the Disney, or not Disney, but the Nickelodeon show? Nickelodeon show is fucking fire. Absolutely loved it. The live action, which sadly I was introduced to it through that. Yeah, thought it was decent, but nothing special. I liked the original, or I gave a review on the Last Airbender show. Thought it was very good. Honestly, if they managed to do it right, I think they would have a pretty good story on their hands. Did you know that there was Avatar TLA video games? I did know that there were those, yes. Never played them, though. Anyway, if you can hear anything in the background, I am sorry for that. That's my autistic stepbrother who only has 2 volume settings, very low to dead whisper and very loud. Can't be helped. Good kid, though. Even though he's 26, I still call him kid because he's younger than me. Yeah, if you're younger than me, even by a few months, you're a kid. Let's just say that. That's just how I am. I think it would have been really interesting if J.R.R. Tolkien finished the new Shadows of Mordor, or Shadow, the sequel he was writing for Lord of the Rings. Thought it might have been pretty cool too. Avatar, Tibet versus China was great. The follow-up, Avatar. What the fuck? I have no idea what the hell, man. I'm not finishing that, Epi. Also, you have yet to explain what the problem was between Star Wars Old Republic and Australia, because... Oh, no, wait, there you go. Launched with Australian servers that were heavily populated, but when everyone steamrolled through the game and ran out of content, we stopped playing, so they killed our servers. Well, shit, I'm sorry about that, man. So, never mind. Yeah, I did see it. That's my bad. There you go. Do you know that there's a Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy TV show back in 2007? Yes, I do. Or I remember the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. They cut the Grim Reaper. But yeah. And I do want to thank you all, indeed, for staying on here and chatting with me. It's helping getting my watch time up, hopefully, because I'm trying... I had it at 3,200. It's now down to just above 3,000. And I'm doing my damnedest to try to get it up, and it's just not working. I don't know how much you know about the new Shadow, but it was about an evil cult that took over all of Arda. Didn't know anything about it, but that sounds interesting. That was my way of saying Aang was better than Korra. Okay. Yeah. Aang was better than Korra. I'd never watched the Korra stuff. I was talking about the TV movie called Billy and Mandy, Big Boogie Adventure. I have no idea, Christian. I didn't deep dive into that stuff ever. I only started deep diving into stuff a few years back, or early 2000s or late 2000s and whatnot. I mean, I could tell you all sorts of stuff, like how Rambo 5 Last Blood wasn't originally an abandoned concept to Rambo 4. Rambo 4 was originally supposed to be Rambo 5. But it was put on the back burner because it was a good story. They just didn't have it. Ed and Eddie. Damn straight, dude. Plank is the shit. More emotional range than that plank of wood named Brie Larson. Opinions on Dune series by Frank Herbert. Never read the books. I thought the Children of Dune series was pretty interesting, and the Dune movies back then, or the movie Dune back then, was pretty good. As for this Dune and Dune Part 2, I'm going to have to watch Dune again, and then watch Dune Part 2 when it comes out. I'm looking forward to the Meg 2, The Trench. Waiting for that. I'm sorry, folks, but when you see a freaking humongous megalodon crest on shore and start chomping on a T-Rex. Awesome. Gotham Girls had trans women. I had no idea. It was family friendly too. No idea about that, Christian. But CSI also had trans people on it too. And yet, for some reason, they don't get enough credit for it. I'm to that point too. I'm 30 years old, and if you're younger than me, you're a kid. Yep. Junebug, you're a kid to me if you're only 30. Rolf, Plank, Johnny need their own spinoff from Ed, Edd and Eddy. You guys want to hear something very funny? Courage the Cowardly Dog. I can do the old man's voice. Stupid dog! Stupid dog! I can also do, or that was one of the coolest things I did when I was younger. I could also do like Lilo and Stitch. My name's Stitch. And funny little voice things like, let's see here. You want to know how I got these scars? Well, my father was a drinker and a fiend. And one night, he goes off crazier than usual. Mommy gets the kitchen knife to defend herself. He doesn't like that. Not one bit. So, me watching, he takes the knife to her, and he says, "Why so serious?" He comes at me with the knife. "Why so serious?" Puts the knife in my mouth. "Let's put a smile on their faces." And why so serious? Yeah, I could do Heath Ledger's too. Yeah. Got a pretty good praise from Stephanie from my nerdy home from that one time. But yeah, when it comes to any channels that are bigger than me, like Mara Jade, great gal, Jade Shadow, she's stayed humble, but she's also that problematic cunt on Twitter. But in a good way. In a good way, folks. In a good way. Lethal Lightning, he's good people. Full Aussie is always going to be fun. But yeah, most of the smaller channels, Riot Kitty, Barroom, CS, Cult Classic, fucking shot past me in subs, man. Glad to help her out too. Great, she's a great channel. When it comes to gaming channels, I really don't follow a lot of gaming channels, but she's a great gaming channel. Great gaming channel. I mean, I try to help out as many smaller channels as I can to get to 1,000 subs and up. I'm just that kind of person. Which is funny because Ototus Megalodon didn't exist with Tyrannosaurus Rex. Megalodon lived in the early Miocene to Pliocene, while T-Rex lived from late Cretaceous. Yes, that is very true, but you know what? It's a fucking movie. Dude, Megalodons are my favorite shark. Honestly, I am one of those people that think that Megalodon might actually still exist in this world. Possibly. How did I meet Mara Jade? Me and Mara have collaborated in the past when my channel was still under 1,000. We actually met through Lethal Lightning. She and I got along, hit it off pretty well. I became her first follower on Twitter. Still proud of that, by the way. My original account was her first follower on Twitter. Still proud of that, by the way. And yeah, she got her channel started, and I was one of her earlier subs, and been subbed to her ever since. Meg Series doesn't care about accuracy; it cares about two things: making money and pleasing the Chinese Communist Party. You know what? I like the books by Aaron Alston. I think Aaron Alston did the books. I want to read all those books. I want to actually get them all. But that's the interesting thing that I found about them, was that I liked the books. And I thought the movie was entertaining. And hey, fuck, if the movie gets China money, you know what? While I fucking hate Steve Alton, yeah, sorry about that, not Aaron Alston, but Steve Alton. If the Chinese fucking Communist Party, we all know I don't like communists. Unfortunately, it's one of those trade-offs, Epi. It's one of those trade-offs. You can't do what I do and boycott everything that you're of the topics you're doing, man. I mean, I'm a movie reviewer. I have to compromise where I have to and take a stand where I do. I will not watch movies like The Flash. I will not review movies like The Flash. They will not get my money. Now, will I watch the movie The Flash when it's out of theaters and on HBO Max where it won't get my money because I only pay the $15.99 a month for HBO Max? Sure, I will fucking watch it then when I am able to watch it. Will I review it? No, I will not review it. Because honestly, it doesn't deserve it. I will not give money to that movie. As much as I think that the Batman or Michael Keaton's Batman in it is pretty cool, sure. But honestly, no, I do not want to support Ezra Miller. And by giving money to the theater where they get the 90% take and the theater only gets the 10%, won't do it. We boycott everything made in China or South America, would be walking around with no shoes, talking over tin cans connected by a string, using libraries instead of computers and Google. Exactly. The Chinese Communist Party is something that I absolutely hate. But some good shit comes out of China. Opinions on H.G. Wells books. I never read all the books from H.G. Wells. I know a little bit about Cthulhu. That's about it. And if Cthulhu was real and he woke up, this world would die in a hail of orgies and violence. Interesting fact, Dawn of the Dead remake was directed by Zack Snyder and written by James Gunn. Never saw it. But it is an interesting fact. Zack Snyder and James Gunn are pieces of shit in real life, though. I mean, I am sorry that Zack Snyder's daughter died, but James Gunn is a freaking pedo. I want nothing to do with his work. That's why I didn't watch Guardians 3 in the theater. That's why I'm not doing any of the later MCU films after Endgame. Because they don't deserve it at all. Jason Statham is just not to Jonas Taylor to me. Or just not to Jonas Taylor to me. You kind of needed more of a nerdy action hero. Jonas Taylor in the books, I thought he did pretty well in the movie. I think that Jason Statham is actually a good actor. Me, I think he was a good actor. I liked him ever since I saw him in The One with Jet Li. That's actually where he got his kickoff from into stardom. Did pretty good. I mean, I absolutely also loved him in The Expendables too, as well. Or The Expendables. When they're down in that Valena country and he's about to get shot and Sylvester Stallone says, "Are you crazy? Could have killed me." Do I like Watchmen? Yes, I know it. Or yes, I like Watchmen. Zack Snyder, separating art from artists. He's an asshole. He has some good content. Also, Zack called his fans idiots for not understanding his DCU movies and ideas behind it. I thought he did pretty good with the DCU movies that are out there. I don't agree with The Flash being Ezra Miller and fucking Amber Heard, but you know what? Oh well. Just know that Tara Strong sadly promotes NFTs. I have no idea what the fuck NFTs are. And got in an argument with an Uber driver. Who's Tara Strong? What are NFTs? Christian, I have no idea. The only good Snyder did was cast as a decent Batman, Superman, and Darkseid. Yep. Good on that. Yep. I thought Gal Gadot was good Wonder Woman. Wrath of Men is great. Seen it? Yes, I did a mystery review on it. One of my January New Year's reviews is Wrath of Men. Yes, he's a good actor. I think it's more when you read the books and you're a fan. I guess best way to put it is that there's a disconnect for me. Okay, got it. I meant Zack Snyder, not Renner. Sorry. It's okay, man. I have no idea about WWE. Wait, is Tara Strong a voice actress? I will say this, though. The chick who does, who was in the movie Josie and the Pussycats, who also did the voice for Jason Wilson in Star Wars The Old Republic. Great fucking character. The flush is going to bomb. Even Keaton can't save it. Damn right. I mean, while I like Michael Keaton Batman, no. Never liked Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. The accent was weird, and she didn't look half as good as Linda Carter. Well, obviously, Epi, dude. When you see Linda Carter running as Wonder Woman and wondering how is that top even still on because of her freaking boobs just bouncing all the fucking time, I'm wondering, okay, is it going to pop now? Maybe now, maybe now. When is that freaking top going to pop? I mean, that's just me. As a voice actress who voiced Bubbles and Powerpuff Girls, Ravens from Teen Titans. No shit. I like the original Teen Titans, the ones that had freaking, what's his name as Slade, Ron Perlman as Slade. For instance, when I was reading the book, I was picturing Viggo Mortensen as Jonas Taylor. Interesting. I have not read the first book. I read the second book. Sorry, I had to listen to something. Did you know that Stan Lee created a character named Stripperella and was voiced by Pamela Anderson? That is just fucking hilarious. But the Meg book that I read, the Meg book that I read was, he was on this TV show that they were filming where they were actually on a Spanish galleon, and there was a albino megalodon with a scarred fin that this bad guy wanted to use to kill Jonas Taylor, that he was able to control and shit. Yeah. 8 people going. Hour 33 in. Nice. Hour 34 now. But, yep. I really hope Across the Spider-Verse, the Indy 5, crush the flush. Honestly, Ambassadorial Wing, I have mixed feelings about Across the Spider-Verse with all the IDP in it that they're pushing in it. Indy 5, I might give it a chance. Might being the operative word when it comes out on Disney+. Movies I want to see remade more accurate to the source material: Starship Troopers, The Dark Knight Returns, and Jurassic Park. Yeah, that was it. Meg Primal Waters. That was the book that I read. Honestly, I thought Jurassic Park was pretty good, to be completely honest. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, or not Fallen Kingdom, but Dominion, that one could have been better. Have you heard of Go? No, I have not. I have not heard of that. Go MOBA Boy. No, I have not heard of that. The character designer later worked on Ben 10 and Teen Titans. Interesting. Anyway, folks, what time is it? 8:36. I could still go for a little bit longer. Shit, I'll go for till 9 o'clock. But let's see, shows that I grew up with. Jurassic Park was a classic 90s film that needs to be respected, but I also want Jurassic Park movie with the horror turned all the way up like in the books. Nice. Didn't The Dark Knight Returns already have a more accurate movie, the two-part animated movie? I have the two-part animated movie as one whole film in my digital library. You want to know what I want to see absolutely done right? Well, actually, I would do my own version of it. I read The Death and Life of Superman book, which was based on the comics of the death of Superman versus the original Doomsday. Before Doomsday was turned into some sort of fucking Kryptonian freak. The original Doomsday had no origin. It was speculated they never gave him they never gave him an absolute origin at the time. I understand. I'm more open-minded. We just differ on things. Exactly. Man, you differ on things. By the way, Ambassadorial Wing, let me know if you're still thinking about doing the Buffy and Angel thing. I overly talk about forgotten works on my channel, such as Lobo, Superhero Roommate, Starship Regulars, and Evil Con Carne. Yeah, nice. I was told to be really cool to do a Punisher story that sort of really inspired by The Dark Knight Returns. Honestly, I think that they need to do Grim Knight, which is like a Punisher version of Bruce Wayne, a Batman that uses weapons. That would fucking be awesome. I believe I did a Grim Knight versus stream of Grim Knight versus the Punisher. Of course, Grim Knight slaughtered him. It's close, but Grim Knight slaughtered him. One of my favorite versus streams was actually one that was quite an odd pairing. It was it wasn't the Goku versus Superman one, even though that was a good one. It was the Joker versus Bullseye. Honestly, I thought that was a great frickin' pairing. I had fun during that stream because it was like, how do you put, or who can you put up against a Joker that isn't super powered and shit, you know? Really hoping Doom Part 2 does well. Would love DV. Denis Villeneuve, I guess you mean. Do more of the books. That is one universe that needs more love. Thing I love is when people sit there and say Batman doesn't kill, and then you explain to them that Batman not killing is a fairly new thing. Yeah, Batman did fucking kill him. He was a fucking anti-hero. People don't realize that. Did you know that Tim's Stories Fantastic Four had an extended cut with 20 extra minutes? Yes, I own it on digital. Extra footage and an animated opening credits. Yep. Fun question. Unicron from Transformers universe versus Galactus from the Marvel universe. I think I did that, Neozoic. You'd have to go to my playlists, look up either season 2 or season 3. Yeah, I'm still planning on doing the Buffy and Angels review series, probably start in a month or so. Nice. Let me know when you're doing it. Because I will join in on that. I mean, we'd have to do 2 of Buffy's until we get to the Buffy and Angel thing. Then we'd have to match up which episodes are which for each of them. What could be really cool? Luke Skywalker versus Paul Atreides. Luke Skywalker would kill Paul Atreides in a heartbeat. There was a Buffy animated series pilot, but was rejected because of an uncertain audience. Yeah. You can actually watch the unreleased pilot of Buffy the Vampire Slayer series with Sarah Michelle Gellar. They actually have the unused pilot on YouTube. So that's interesting. There we go. There is also a few Buffy video games with most of the cast returning. Nice. Sarah didn't voice Buffy in the pilot and video games. That was Giselle Lauren. Nice. Also, I will say this ambassadorial wing, after watching Buffy and Angel, holy crap, do I realize now that when people say that Joss Whedon was a sexualized pervert, I understand after watching those shows that, yes, he definitely was a sexualized pervert. I mean, folks, after watching the Buffy and Angel series, holy shit. By the way, was Galactus more a force of nature, or is he just an evil villain? In my Versus stream, he was the villain from the books, from the comics. I also made quite a funny joke on there that when he farted, or it was his fart that created the Fantastic Four. And I'll still stand by that. Controversial opinion. I think Christy Swanson is better as cheerleader Sarah Michelle Gellar. I agree. Kamen Rider 64, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Coming in on the last 20 minutes of the stream, but hey, good to see you in here, man. Thank you so much. But yeah, they call it cosmic radiation, but just imagine, I mean, if Galactus farted, wouldn't that kind of be cosmic radiation? I was there for Joker versus Bullseye. That was fun one, yeah. I was there for Galactus v Unicron. Yes, you were. They ran their course. Yep, they did. I mean, believe me, I'd love to continue them, but who else is to freaking fight, man? Hyperion. I could do a Hyperion versus Superman. That might work. But anyway, what happens when Superman has diarrhea? Well, I feel sorry for wherever he takes a shit. He'll blow up the toilet, quite literally. Kind of like dry ice in a toilet. Except shitty. So Naughty Dog is working on a Jack and Daxter movie with Tom Holland. Fuck Naughty Dog. Sorry, I do agree with RK Outpost on that. Fuck Naughty Dog. But hey, they can do all that stuff if they want, man. I think I still have that Fuck Naughty Dog shirt that I got from Ryan's stuff. Now I want to go back and watch those Versus streams. Hey, I have them in playlists. Opinions on George Romero's zombie films. I have no opinion. I don't know which ones those are. I've seen a lot of movies, but not a lot of the classic movies. One of my favorite old movies is Arsenic and Old Lace. I'm gonna have to rewatch that sometime. It's a shame that Helena Hutchins isn't here for Mother's Day. Too bad for her son and family. Yes. Rest in peace, Helena Hutchins. And it does suck that you are not able to spend your Mother's Day with your son. Alec Baldwin taking her life. And then him and his Hilaria Horror Baldwin pretending that they're the victims. The top 3 verses was Ray versus Alien, Galactic, Alien versus Predator. I don't think I did an AVP. I think I did like Aliens versus Mandalorians and an Alien or a Predator versus a Klingon. Did you know that there was going to be a Sly Cooper movie? I have no idea, dude. You are way more advanced in that stuff than I am, man. Christian, you are way more advanced in that than I am, bub. Oh, about 46. So I got 14 minutes left. I'm going to end at 2 hours. Accountant joining John Wick universe. Whoop, whoop. My very first Vanya, my very first versus stream was the Accountant versus John Wick. Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, Land of the Dead, yada, yada, yada. I didn't see any of those movies, Miyazaki. Never saw a single one of them. Honestly, I didn't get too much into the whole zombie thing. I mean, I like the Resident Evil movies, but to a point. I'm tired of the straw man argument that it's not the actor's job to check the weapon. Number 1 rule of gun safety, you check the fucking weapon. Exactly, man. Even if my brother, who I trust implicitly, handed me a weapon, the first thing I'm doing is pointing that thing downward and checking it. He has toy guns. He has the toy guns, like the laser tag ones. And my nephew, who was at the time, 2 or 3 years old. Yeah, 3 years old. My nephew, when he was handed the toy laser tag gun, he kept his finger out of the trigger guard. That's how well my nephew was freaking raised, weapons-wise. X-Men: The Last Stand isn't the first time Kelsey Grammer portrayed the Blue Furry man. He voiced Gary the Rat in 2000. Interesting. Yazok, I saw up to Land of the Dead and the remake of Night. I enjoy them all. Yeah. I mean, to be completely honest, folks, I rewatched Rogue One the other day, just out of sheer curiosity. Thing is, I still maintain the fact that it is not a good movie, but it still is more to the formulaic filming or the formulaic cinematography of the original Star Wars trilogy than any other Star Wars movie. Matthew Hutchins, how could you cave in and take the money? That's why I call Matthew Hutchins a cuck. He put a number on his wife's life. He took the money. It really is sad, dude. Because here's the thing. If my girlfriend, if she died by a celebrity, I'd sue the celebrity for every fucking cent I had or he had. I would not settle. I would fight the whole damn thing out in court. And I would make sure that he was reminded every damn day that he took a life. There was a TVMA Lobo web cartoon based on the DC character in 2000. He's Stan Lee's favorite DC character. I did hear that he is Stan Lee's favorite character. My only thing about Rogue One is it should have been made, or it should have been a Dark Forces. Yeah, should have been, but it wasn't, unfortunately. And I've often said, Rogue One is the one Disney Star Wars film that I actually got any enjoyment out of. Now, also, folks, I am a person who is very blunt and honest. There are movies I don't like that I own on my digital library. I own all the Disney Star Wars movies as well. Solo, Rogue One, and the Disney trilogy. I own them. Now ask me how many times I've watched them since I've owned them. Once for the Disney trilogy, once for Solo, 3 times I think for Rogue One. I'm not afraid to admit that there are certain movies that I do own on my digital library. I will take it as far as the Supreme Court. I would take it as far as I could too, dude. I'd bankrupt myself if it meant that there was accountability and justice. Unfortunately, there isn't. Do you wish Darth Plagueis should have its own movie, TV series based on a novel or not? I believe that if you take out the Filoni taint of Darth Plagueis, or out of the Darth Plagueis novel, you will have a perfect novel. And honestly, I can view that novel as a movie in my head. So I think it would be good if it was done right, if it was done with respect, not by Disney. I think it could work. Catch it at least once a year. Recently watched Solo and enjoyed it. The one thing I thought was pretty cool from Solo. Well, there are 2 things that I thought was pretty cool from Solo. One, the Millennium Falcon bitch slapping a TIE fighter. Thought that was pretty cool. And 2, the visual of a Star Destroyer coming through that nebula looking thing. It just looked to me like, or it just reminds me of like a great white just coming at you. Just, it's like this big thing, you know? Yes, Genndy Tartakovsky did understand Star Wars better than Filoni. However, George Lucas did have problems with the Genndy Tartakovsky. I'd love to see the Lord and Miller cut of Solo, but I know it won't happen. I wonder how it would have turned out, you know? The thing that they screwed up with Solo is there is a formula for Star Wars movies. You need 3 things. You need a space battle. You need a compelling story, but you also need a ground shootout battle. And then you need a lightsaber fight. You take out one of those, you do not have a Star Wars film. I got an idea for the next versus stream: Sakura from Naruto versus Korra from Legends of Korra. Well, Sakura from Naruto would wreck Korra's shit, considering how powerful she is in Shippuden. From like the last 100 episodes, she's basically like Lady Tsunade. Did you know that The Emperor's New Groove was originally a musical drama called Kingdom of the Sun? No, I didn't, man. Pogo would have been voiced by Owen Wilson. No, I didn't. Fun fact, Revenge of the Sith was originally going to be a 4-hour film. Yes, I was aware of that. Because the first act was supposed to be like an hour freaking long. Yeah, the first act was supposed to be an hour freaking long. Another thing that a lot of people don't realize is that Revenge of the Sith took place over a month. Not a few days, like the Clone Wars Season 7 with Ahsoka Tano doing the whole being a part of Order 66 thing. No. Episode 3 took place over a month, or over a month's time. They didn't really express the time passage in the movies very well. That's one of the biggest flaws of Star Wars, is that they don't cover the passage of time, or they don't interpret the passage of time very well. However, it is very much suggested that a month's time passes from the beginning of episode 7 or beginning of episode 3 to the end of it. Janet from Another Planet, how are you, hot stuff? Good to see you. Always a pleasure to see Janet from Another Planet. She is my favorite she is my favorite YouTuber that creates shorts. Always enjoy her stuff. Did you wish that the 4-hour version of Revenge of the Sith should have existed or not? Yes, absolutely, man. Abso-friggin-lutely. Kingdom of the Sun, what I've had is, I have no idea what that is, man. So in dark, I have no idea what that is. Christian, I really don't. Nice to see you tonight. Thank you. It's always a pleasure. On a scale of 1 to 10, where would you put how Disney is handling Star Wars? 0. Kamen Rider. You've seen my reviews on Kenobi, right? I have that playlist. And then I came out with the 90 some odd problems with Kenobi. Yeah. The cast solo was good. You had some solid actors. The story had some issues. Everything was wrong with Solo, man. Story had some issues, yeah. Panda Lando, fucking a robot. How Chewie and Solo met? No. I prefer how they originally met. There's a documentary on how Kingdom. I have no idea, man. You are way more into that than I am, dude. The new, or it's called Sweatbox, and Disney Company refuses to bring it up. There's a lot of things that Disney refuses to bring up, like the fact that they freaking hit a pedophile or transferred a pedophile from one division to another just to protect her from getting arrested when she was sleeping with kids or sleeping with a kid. It's one of my most viewed videos. I think it's actually still my most viewed video. It's pretty cool to see that video is still prospering today. How Elastigirl versus Sakura from Street Fighter. I have no idea who Sakura is from Street Fighter, but probably be a pretty decent fight. A lot of people don't know this, but Fantastic Four and The Incredibles, kind of the same people. Just different order. and one swap out. Anyway, folks, it is getting to 2 hours, so I am going to take it out, or to wind it down from here. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. You're gonna check out Human Target, possibly. I don't know what it is, but definitely check it out. Came up with these weird matchups, but yes, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Janet, happy Mother's Day to you, and to all the mothers out there who are not watching. Well, hug your mamas, folks. Give them a hug. Wish them happy Mother's Day. Give them all your love. It's funny that The Incredibles is the best Fantastic Four, despite it's not Fantastic Four. Yeah. And thank you to everybody in the chat. Alex Receivable, thank you. I'm going to head out, eat some dinner. Everyone hit the like button. Have a good bud. See you next week. Yep. For the Infinity Saga Sunday, for the Avengers. Did you know that Peyton Reed had written a Fantastic Four screenplay? It's like X-Men First Class. No, I did not. But anyway, folks, thank you so much for tuning in. You all have a wonderful night. Stay tuned for Tuesday's mystery review. Pretty much everybody's guessed it by now. It is indeed Shin Godzilla. So Tuesday afternoon, 1:30 p.m. Tune in for that one. Going to be a heck of a talk. Anyway, thank you so much to everybody. You all have a good night. Happy Mother's Day. Stay safe. Always remember, stay humble.